Well, hello, good people. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I appreciate each and every one of you guys. So we're here. This is actually day number 4 for what we're doing here. We've gone through. We've got the electrical pulled out yesterday. Forgot to video yesterday the work and stuff that we did, but we ended up taking care of the electrical. We ended up taking care of the plumbing in here, getting that situated in here so we don't have such a pooch screw with that, and getting new drywall put in. We got our door opening framed out and things. And what we have to do now is we need to get rid of the wallpaper that's up here so we can tape up the corners and the edges and things. And we're going to be taking off the paneling. So my focus right now is if I can get the wallpaper up here so we don't have any more drippings and stuff on here, then I can start the process of getting this taped off. And while that's drying, I can work on pulling off all of the paneling. Now I'm going to need to move the refrigerator, I'm going to need to move the stove and things and so on to get that ready. Now, one thing I don't remember checking, we have an outlet on the wall here, but I'm not sure if there's an outlet in the back here for the refrigerator. We're also going to need to put in an ice maker line to go in here as well, so that way the refrigerator will have its new permanent home right there. But it is definitely shaping up. And as we get this stuff, we'll probably put the stove and things in the middle of the floor here, so we have that space to work with a little bit easier around. But definitely, it's beginning to take shape. It's going to be nice. Now, the good thing is, at least with the wallpaper up here, I'm using some wallpaper remover. The wallpaper itself, I got to get my taller ladder from outside, is actually already pulled off. And so you have that other layer that's underneath of it. And if you spray the wallpaper remover on there, it comes off actually pretty good. Now the key on this is to get it wet enough that it'll all come off, but not too wet that it saturates. Now the good thing is this kitchen was painted before. So as this sits in here, you can basically just scrape it right off with a putty knife. And you just got to be careful that you don't over wet it and it ends up being that you damage the walls. So we won't have as much spackling up to do as it could have been. We'll have some nail holes and stuff, but it will be actually pretty good to be able to get this. So you can see, I just need to wet it more. I'm going to need some more of this wallpaper remover, but really it's coming off there nice. Now I need it cleaned up on the edges down through here, so that way I can do my taping and mudding up on it. But definitely some time and a bit of a mess, but it'll be good. All right. Well, we're making pretty good progress with the wallpaper remover. I actually had just an individual spray bottle one, and that was working okay. It's about $7 for one of the bottles, and went through it rather quickly, and that's like $7. Instead, I got the big bottle here, a gallon, which was $18, and I got myself an $8 sprayer, in which case it's saving my wrist because I'm not sitting here squeezing, and saves it's quite a bit cheaper that way in the long run. And what you do is you basically spray it on. I pulled off the first layer, and what you can see is you let it sit for at least 15 minutes, and it's going to get that paper to dissolve that right off of there. And you can take it off just that easy, and then I can start spackling. Now, when you have wallpaper that's still the paper itself and you can't get it off, this is nice because we got the first layer off of it. Then you need to get a scoring tool, and it's just got some blades that as you rub it on top of it, it will make little teeny holes, so that way the glue, it'll get into the glue. But you can see how easy that is. It just basically eats it and softens it up, so you can take it right on off. So what I'm going to be able to do is all these nail holes, we'll be able to pop those in place, and we'll start being able to spackle this up to be ready to be painted. We didn't anticipate doing We were originally going to be leaving the paneling was the original plan, but once we got in here and really started looking at it, it was dated and it was not put up very well. And so we decided that a fresh coat of paint will look better than the dated dated paneling. And so we're going to prep these walls, skim coat them. The nice thing is up here, you can see most of this has actually been painted and it's not in awful shape. I'm going to spray some more of that paper on here, let it sit a little bit more and make it a little bit easier even. Just don't over saturate it that you end up having wet walls. And what I can do is, to save myself some time, and I spray this on, because I need to take the paneling off on the other side, but I have a lot of stuff over there, is I'm going to go ahead and mud up this section of the wall, tape it, fill in the nail holes, and then I can move the stove and the microwave over here out of the way so I can then work across with the rest of the back wall here. We are going to need to put an ice maker line in through here, and we're going to need to move the plug over as well. So that way the refrigerator will sit back in there. All right, so this is looking pretty good right now. We've either taped or blocked everything already here on the walls. We've gotten the wallpaper and stuff off the top there. Looks a whole lot better. I do need to go up and set some nails and glaze the wall a bit, but definitely getting rid of the paneling is really nice. We got our corner bead up in here and we put our first coat of mud around that and things. What we'll do tomorrow is, to give us some room to work, we'll go ahead and sand this and clean this stuff up. We put the stove and the dishwasher, which go right back there. They can get out of our way, and we'll go through and we'll get the ice maker line put in. And this outlet right here does not work, so we'll have to trace that out, and we'll move that over to here so that way we have the power for the refrigerator and we'll be able to put that sucker down. And we'll finish getting the rest of this wallpaper and paneling off and go ahead and glaze all that. So maybe, today's Thursday, Saturday we might be ready to paint this, possibly. We'll see. Some of the walls have been in really bad shape. I've got like a lot of repairs to do down here and things, but it might be ready to paint by Saturday, which would be great, because then we can start putting the floor down and then start getting the cabinets and stuff in as well. Now, my son Michael is an electrician. He works for a company during the week, so unless it's raining or weekends, I can't get him. That's why we had him yesterday, because it poured. But we're also going to put a ceiling fan up here, and we're going to have to hide the wiring. So we have two routes that we can go. We can try and go up in the attic and see if we can fish a line down there. The problem with that is it would be hardwired from the attic. And I think what we'll probably do is we'll end up using the outlet here, run that up, put a light switch there. We'll have to run it up and then over to get it to the center, and put a box. We'll have to cut a spot out of here where we'll put in blocking for it, because it'll be a big fan that'll go in here. But it will definitely be great to, with this space, the size of it, to get a oversized fan in here. It'll really keep it cool. So that's what we got, where we moved the doorway over 8 inches. And so that's the first coat. And I sound like I'm tired, because I'm tired, but it definitely looks 100 times better than when we started on Monday. All right, good people, I've got to load up the truck. Every time I leave, I've had a load of debris, and this is our 3rd truckload. So we're gonna get to the dump and get on going. As always, I appreciate you guys. Peace out. Oh, good morning. We've got another day here working on the house right here. And the joint compound, for most part, dried up really well last night. What we're going to do today is we're going to work on getting some more of this. We got more blocking and mudding we need to do, and going around the doorway here. We're also going to go ahead and, you can see down here, somebody jacklegged the ice maker line and stuff in there, and they didn't patch it up, they just put the paneling over it. So what we're gonna do is, we're gonna go ahead and run a new ice maker line downstairs, and we're gonna move the refrigerator back over here. This is actually the location of it, so we can get the rest of the paneling off of here and get the rest of the wallpaper off and spackle up, so that way we'll have everything hopefully closer, maybe by tomorrow, be able to do the final skim on this stuff and get ready to paint it. And also tomorrow we're going to be doing, I've got my son who's the electrician, we're going to put in this big ceiling fan right here. It's going to go up here. It's a 72-inch one. Now there is of course no light fixture that's here, so we're going to actually have to go through, and I can see it's actually close to the center. I see a nail pop right there. We're going to probably go right there, right about here. We'll measure it out, but put it in the center. We're going to need to cut out a section of the ceiling here so we can end up getting the box in here, and we'll end up running the wiring right on down the wall. And let me see if there's an outlet. Okay, good. We got an outlet that's here. So what we can do is we can run it over. We can put a switch in the wall. We can cut a spot up here so we can get the wire right up into it. And we'll put on a fan screw-on box. So that way it'll end up being strong and sturdy for that heavy-duty fan. And I think we've got a fan to go in a bedroom too as well. So you can see we got the first blocking of the corner bead and everything else. It's still a little bit wet and drying, but we'll be able to go through and get another coat of mud on that. So we're going to get to work, get this thing done. And it's coming along pretty good in comparison to where we were. Definitely coming along pretty good.